Earlier this week, memory stocks got smoked. Micron, SanDisk, Western Digital, all of them fell somewhere between 5% and 9% in a single stretch, as rising rates and AI spending jitters hit the entire sector at once. Just 2 days later, a brand new analyst came out and said the exact opposite of what that sell-off implied. BMO Capital Markets initiated coverage on Micron with an outperform rating and a $1,300 price target, implying roughly 33% upside from where the stock had just closed. Their reasoning wasn't hype. It was one phrase: a prolonged memory supercycle, driven by supply that simply cannot keep up with demand. So which one is right? Was Tuesday's crash a warning sign, or was it, as some analysts are now calling it, one of the best buying windows this sector has offered all year? Today we're breaking down Micron, SanDisk, and Western Digital, what actually caused the sell-off, why Wall Street is quietly buying the dip, and whether the structural story behind this rally is stronger than people think. I'm John A.G. This is Future AI Stocks. Before we start, here's a short disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Always do your own research before making any investment decisions. Let's get the sequence of events straight, because a lot of headlines this week made it sound more dramatic than it actually was. On Tuesday, August 18th, the entire memory sector pulled back sharply. Micron fell, SanDisk sank, and Western Digital dropped, as rising treasury yields and renewed doubts about the pace of AI infrastructure spending hit high multiple tech names across the board. This wasn't a memory-specific problem, it was a broader risk-off day that happened to hit the sector hardest because these stocks had already run up the most in 2026. Then, almost immediately, the story flipped. On Thursday, August 20th, Micron announced a $10 billion investment into a new Micron Research Labs facility in Boise, Idaho, part of a broader $250 billion U.S. manufacturing and R&D commitment the company outlined back in July. That same day, S&P Global raised Micron's credit rating to BBB+, citing growing confidence that AI-driven memory demand extends out to 2028. And BMO Capital Markets, initiating coverage for the first time, slapped a $1,300 outperform target on the stock. Micron closed that Thursday at $974.33, up 3.97% on the day. By Friday, August 21st, shares settled at $966.78, essentially holding on to almost all of Thursday's gain. That's the quietly buying the dip story in a nutshell, a sharp pullback on macro fear, followed almost immediately by fresh institutional buying on the fundamentals. Also worth noting, Elon Musk's now widely circulated comment from earlier this month that memory, not GPUs or power, is currently the limiting factor for AI infrastructure, has kept getting cited by analysts covering this exact sell-off and rebound pattern as a reason the structural demand story hasn't actually changed, even when the stocks wobble short-term. Here's the part of this story that separates it from every past memory boom and bust cycle, and it's worth explaining properly instead of just saying this time is different without backing it up. Historically, memory has been Wall Street's textbook cyclical trade. Producers chase a demand spike, flood the market with new supply, prices collapse, rinse and repeat. What's changed this cycle is the customer relationship itself. Micron's CEO, Sanjay Mehrotra, told CNBC's Jim Cramer directly this past Thursday that memory is no longer a component in a system. It's now strategic infrastructure for AI. That's not just a soundbite. It reflects how these deals actually get structured today. Instead of selling memory on the open spot market the way the industry always used to, Micron has locked in multi-year strategic customer agreements, reportedly worth around $22 billion, including roughly $18 billion in upfront cash deposits from customers securing future supply. BMO specifically flagged these long-term agreements as giving investors far more visibility into future revenue than past cycles ever offered. When your biggest customers are putting down cash deposits years in advance just to guarantee supply, that's a structurally different pricing floor than the boom-bust spot market pricing this industry used to run on. That's the real argument behind BMO's prolonged memory supercycle call. Not that prices never come down, but that the mechanism supporting prices this cycle is fundamentally sturdier than in 2018 or 2021. Let's actually look at the chart, because the user asking, is the sell-off over, deserves real numbers, not vibes. Micron traded as high as roughly $1,036 in the July to August window before pulling back toward the $737 to $750 range during a rough stretch between July 6th and July 29th, a decline of around 25% peak to trough. Since that low, Micron has rebounded more than 30%, closing Friday, August 21st at $966.78. The stock is up over 200% year-to-date in 2026, and BMO's analyst Harsh Kumar has noted the rally has continued even in the past few weeks alone. Now, the $1,300 target itself. BMO isn't the only bull. Wall Street's broader average 12-month price target on Micron sits somewhere between $1,515 and $1,570 depending on the data provider, with 43 analysts rating the stock a buy and 0 recommending sell. A strong buy consensus. Targets range as high as $2,200 on the most bullish end. Micron currently trades at just 5 to 6 times forward earnings, which analysts expect to jump roughly 111% in fiscal 2027 to around $154.89 per share, according to earnings estimates compiled by Motley Fool contributors, a remarkably low multiple for that kind of expected growth, though that discount also reflects the market's memory of how sharply this sector can reverse. One thing worth flagging, honestly, some insiders have been selling. Company filings show insiders divested more than 162,000 shares, worth roughly $167.8 million over the past 90 days, and a notable hedge fund reportedly exited its Micron position entirely during the second quarter. That doesn't necessarily contradict the bull case. Insiders sell for all kinds of reasons, including diversification after a stock has run this far. But it's a data point worth having on the table. SanDisk went through the exact same pattern as Micron, so a sharp pullback around August 18th, followed by renewed buying. But the valuation conversation around this stock is a different animal entirely. SanDisk opened Friday, August 21st at $1,600, up more than 480% year to date, making it one of the single best performing stocks in the entire market this year. Wall Street's consensus rating is buy, with average 12-month targets ranging from roughly $2,090 to $2,220 depending on the source. Just this past week, RBC Capital raised its target to $1,600, Wells Fargo raised its target to $1,550, and Wedbush maintained an outperform rating with a $2,000 target. If you caught our earlier videos on SanDisk's Investor Day, you already know the headline number, nearly $94 billion in contracted future revenue locked in with major data center customers. What's worth adding this time is the valuation math that comes with it. SanDisk currently trades at a price-to-sales ratio north of 12, which is genuinely expensive by historical standards, even next to Micron's much cheaper forward earnings multiple. That gap matters. BMO's bull case for Micron leans partly on Micron still looking cheap relative to its own growth, while SanDisk's bull case increasingly depends on those contracted revenues actually converting to profit at the margins management has promised. This is the name in the group where the sell-off is a buying opportunity requires the most conviction that the memory supercycle really does run for years, not quarters. Western Digital rounds out today's 3 names, and it tells a slightly messier story than the other 2. Western Digital reported fiscal Q4 2026 results on August 5th. Full-year revenue of $12.92 billion, up 35.7% year over year, with adjusted earnings per share of $3.56, beating Wall Street's estimate. Despite that beat, the stock actually fell as much as 10.8% in after-hours trading that day. Investors focused less on the results themselves and more on forward guidance, even though management projected Q1 fiscal 2027 revenue growth of around 45% with continued margin expansion. That reaction created a wide range of analyst opinions in the days that followed. Citigroup raised its target to $800. Morgan Stanley raised its target to $676. Baird moved to $630. Bank of America, more cautious, actually trimmed its target to $720. TD Cowen set a more conservative $540. That's an unusually wide spread for one stock, which tells you Wall Street itself is still debating how to value Western Digital's specific mix of AI-driven hard drive demand versus the flash memory-heavy stories at Micron and SanDisk. Shares recently traded around $459 to $460, giving the company a market cap of roughly $166 billion and a buy consensus rating from 26 analysts. If you're looking at this group and want AI storage exposure at a more conservative valuation than SanDisk, Western Digital is the name analysts frame that way, though the guidance-driven volatility this month is a reminder that even the cheaper name in this trio isn't immune to sharp moves. Risk 1. Memory's cyclical history is real, even with better contract structures. Multi-year customer agreements reduce risk, they don't eliminate it. If AI infrastructure spending genuinely slows industry-wide, even locked-in agreements can eventually get renegotiated. Risk 2. These stocks have already run enormously. Micron up over 200% year-to-date, SanDisk up over 480%. At these levels, even good news needs to clear an increasingly high bar to keep pushing shares higher. Risk 3. Insider selling and hedge fund exits are worth watching. Micron's recent insider sales and at least one high-profile fund closing its position don't invalidate the bull case, but they're a reason to size positions carefully rather than chase the rally blindly. Risk 4. Western Digital's guidance-driven sell-off shows sentiment can turn fast. A double-digit after-hours drop despite an earnings beat is a reminder that expectations in this sector are now priced for perfection. Risk 5. Macro conditions still matter. Tuesday's pullback was triggered by rising rates and broad AI spending jitters, not company-specific news. That same macro backdrop can resurface at any point between now and Nvidia's August 26th earnings report. Here's the frame to walk away with. This week's sell-off in Micron, SanDisk, and Western Digital wasn't a verdict on the AI memory story. It was a macro-driven wobble in stocks that had already run extremely hard. What's changed since then is that new institutional voices, from BMO's $1,300 Micron target to S&P Global's credit upgrade, are backing the structural case with fresh conviction, built specifically on the kind of long-term, cash-backed customer contracts this industry has never really had before. That doesn't mean the sell-off can't happen again. But it does mean the bull case for this pullback isn't just retail investors buying the dip, it's analysts initiating new coverage on the other side of it. That's the full story of last week's memory stock crash and BMO's new $1,300 Micron target. If this helped you make sense of the volatility in this sector, hit like it helps future AI stocks reach more investors who want research, not noise. Drop a comment. Are you buying this pullback or waiting for a bigger discount? I read everyone. And if you're not subscribed yet, now's the time. I'm John A.G. I'll see you in the next one.